know, yeah. That's right over there.
With the burden here, half a mile away, everything such a feeling coming over me. There is wonder in the dream. Everything I want the world. Midnight coming through inside the lane for me. And the reason is clear. It's because you are here. You're the mirror. And creation and the only explanation I can find. It's the love that I've done ever since you've been around. I've made up my mind. Those happy hours will make me blue. They say that time is a broken heart, but I've had to spend since we've been apart. I realize the way.
Hello, Denjo.
Well, I didn't.
Reverend Father, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to this, our 12th annual walk for the Irish Guide Dogs. Now at the outset, there are a number of people I'd like to welcome and to thank for making this day possible. Welcome to Father O'Sullivan, Breda Clancy and McSweeney, all walkers from Ballincollig, Macroom, Dunamore and locally. I would also like to welcome Councillor Frank Metcalf. Special thanks to John Madden, Piper and Danjo Crowley for the use of his vintage car. I would like to thank all those who collected bingo: Mary Nyan, Kitty Kelly, O'Callaghan, Eileen Murphy, Betty Lally, Nina Bryant, Eugene, Blondie McCarthy. For those who will supply drinks on the route: Tom Buckley, Nora McCarthy, Peggy Nash, Mary O'Callaghan, Mary Nyan, Mary Mellini, Catherine O'Mahony, Sheila Sheehan, Margaret Cochran for the use of our bus. I would also like to welcome Michael Scanlon, Michael English and John O'Sullivan, 103 and 96 County Sound. Dennis Moynihan for inserting ads on the paper, Michael Mellini for inserting ads on newsletter, Danjo Kelleher, Tommy Buckley for putting posters on the road, Humphrey Corkin. Thanks to Julianne Crowley, Sheila Sheehan and Tom Buckley for collecting spots and sponsorship. Thanks to our local minister John Doyle for putting up posters, sponsorship and all his help. Dermot O'Leary for leading the walk with his car. A special thanks to all those who filled cards, walkers and all that helped in any way. At this stage I would like to congratulate Liz McCarthy on her recent marriage and wish Maureen Metcalf a speedy recovery from her injury. Special thanks to Michael and Breed McSweeney for sponsoring the minerals. Now here's a list of people who sponsored the event. Eleanor Duggan, Warden Scort, Michael, Sheila and Tim Pat Kelleher, Ford Main Dealer Macroom, Peter and June Tiernan Bridlands, Victoria Antiques, Jimmy Carroll Plantyre, Denny O'Connor Paving Contractor, Bandon, John Barry, Maxwell Filling Station, Ballincollig, Michael Creed, Macroom, Frank Metcalf, Ovens, Michael and Pat Crowley, Funeral Home, Ballincollig, Dennis O'Brien Motor Factors, Macroom, Pat Corcoran, Post Office for Nairns, Conor and Bino Callahan, Cranehurst, Tredove, Dan Burke, Water Diviner, Carrigafuca, Humphrey Lynch Bakery, Macroom, Donald Minahan, TD Macroom, Jerry and Julianne Crowley, Crookstown, Jim Gleeson, Shop Farn, PK Restaurant, Derby and Ballincollig, Crookstown Vintage Club, Crookstown, Lizarda, Screen Printing and House Design, O'Brien Loughlin Builders, Paula Hair Saloon Farn, Frank Casey Farn, Tim O'Sullivan Transport, Crookstown, Lizarda Garda Centre, Tom and Peggy Buckley, Betty Wilson, Lisnagat, Chatty Wilson Lisnagat, Cornerstone Bar and Lounge, Crookstown, Mary Nine Fernandes, Kevin and Mary Welsh, Kilbenane, Mrs. Kenny and Shagila Bingo, Paddy O'Leary, Auctioneer and Valuer, Farden, Donny Milan, London, Teddy and Catherine O'Mahony, The Shop Aherla, Clodove Garden Furniture, Liam Lynch, Teresa Hair Salon, Crookstown, Martin O'Sullivan, Jeweller, North Main Street and Ballincollig, Cronin Swinsing, Crookstown, John and Catherine Doyle, Crookstown, Shed Direct, Crookstown, Danny and Sheila Carroll, Planter, Musgrave Estate, Ballincollig, Nora Hickey, The Bar, Aherla Festival Committee, Jorian, Sheila Sheehan, Lower Scart, J&T Painting, Cork Limited, Crookstown, Palfab, Lizarda, Dennis and Peggy Carroll, Blackstone Nursery, Clodove, Noreen Crowley, Crookstown, Michael and Michelle and Michael Collins, Clodove, Roach Design, Vickerstown, Crowley Construction, Cora Aherla, Maeve Barrett, Lizarda, Jimser Cunningham, Powerball Construction, Murphy's Garage, Belmont, Crookstown, Denjo Crowley, Cole McKee, Fernandes, Richard Donlan, Crookstown, Wynn Canton, Ireland, Tivoli, Cork, Dennis and Denjo Crowley, Dennis Kerr of Denjo Crowley, Clifford Var, Crookstown, and Ann O'Driscoll. Now I will call on Breda Clancy to say a few words.
Connor, how are you?
Thanks very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to be here again this year. And also, Con Owens is here, and he's Guide Dog Connell. And I just want to say that's why we're all here. Certainly that's why you're all here, why you went out and you got sponsorship and brought in money so that we can provide guide dogs for the blind and visually impaired. And I want to say thank you so much for doing so. There's a wonderful crowd here, and I'd like to thank, I'm going to thank Tessie Buckley in particular, because she's definitely the boss. Definitely the boss. She tells me there all through the year, I want this and I want that, and if I don't get it now, you're in trouble. So she's a fair woman, and I want to thank her so much because she's got a heart of gold. I want to thank Jim Nyan here beside me, and John Doyle, because I know I met John there earlier, and I'm not going to call out any more names because I'm afraid now at this stage, but I just want to thank the whole lot of you here today for everything that you've done over the many years for Irish Guide Dogs. I want to thank all the sponsors and anybody who helped out to make this possible. Now, I'm conscious of the fact that the clouds are kind of dark and you're anxious to get running. So I'll see you all at the very end. Again, thanks again on behalf of Irish Guide Dogs and all the blind and visually impaired people out there who ye have actually provide guide dogs to. Thank you.
I will now call on Archdeacon Bantry White to say a few words, and welcome Archdeacon, your first occasion here.
Thank you very much, and I just want to wish the event well. I've seen over the years the results of the guide dogs that have been trained and used. When I was in Skibbereen, I had responsibilities for Cape Clear Island, and I've never known anyone so dependent upon or so skillful with a guide dog than a parishioner I had there, Ed Harper, who kept a farm of goats, and Ed was able to count the goats along with the dog because each goat had a different bell on it, but he was completely blind, and I had the experience of being led along the cliffs and shown a shortcut by Ed being helped by the dog. And that's a measure of the work that guide dogs can do. That, for me, a sighted person to be led by a blind person in what was actually quite a dangerous place, just showed what guide dogs can do. So I want to wish the work well, and I want to wish the event well. Thank you.
Thanks, Archdeacon. I would also like to welcome Father O'Driscoll. Now, since our event last year, a number of people have passed their eternal reward, and Father Murphy, Bertie Buckley, Sonny Crowley, Mary Crowley, Tim O'Leary, Anne Kelleher, Niall Deneen, John Howard, John Lynch, Humphrey White, And also, I would like you to pray for Hazel O'Callaghan, who was killed as a result of a riding accident, and she has a connection with the walk here. Now, I would like to call on our parish priest to address us and to say a few words and maybe say a prayer for those people who have passed to their eternal reward since our last walk. Okay, Father Sullivan.
Venerable Archdeacon, Father and friends, I too would like to first of all congratulate those who for many years now have been organising this. You know, the thought struck me as I was coming over there, what we take for granted every day. The Archdeacon was talking there about a sighted man being led by a blind man. But if any of us tomorrow morning were without sight for the rest of our lives, then I think we would realise in a very real way the importance of the work that we're out to support this afternoon. So I want to congratulate those who have been putting in such good work and thank those who have come. And as Dr. Nine said, we have quite a few who have passed their eternal reward during the past year, so we say a little prayer for them. Lord, we ask you to have mercy on our loved ones who have been associated with this walk over a number of years. We ask you now, Lord, to give them the reward of their labours and the good work that they have done. May the peace and blessing of eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord. Let perpetual light shine upon them. May they rest in peace. May their souls and the souls of all the faithfully departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Now, before we move on, John Madden will play a lament for those who have died since our last walk. In for a photograph, a group photograph before we start walking.
Just all right.
If you want to go back to the car, Goodbye. Whoa! Alright.
No, we're fine, thanks. Thank you. No, sorry, that's
yeah.
What did you say, Tessie was first? No, I didn't break it all yet. You mean Tessie was first?
No, I said Tessie very good.
One day as I strayed through a garden of flowers where nature beauty bestowed, as among the green bushes I wended my way, sure I noticed the shamrock and rose. The flowers were all blooming and chattering away in a low and sweet tone of their own, while the shamrock was pleading its own country's cause to the rose in a heartbroken tone. If my love you would treasure, 'twould give me much pleasure. I fought by your side and defeated your foes. And why should you slight me while cruel laws blight me? Said Ireland's green shamrock to England's red rose.
Come on, man, come on, man.
You're doing fine. You're all right.
They say you are weary of my discontent. You say that your sympathy's strong. But would you atone for 1 hour undeserved for the ages of wrong you have done? Go look at the thousands in exile today, with no better bed than the earth, who gave their life's blood, and what are they today? Emigrants from the land of their birth. If my love you would treasure, could give me much pleasure, I fought by your side and defeated your foe. Then why should you slight me while cruel laws blight me? Said Ireland's green shamrock to England's red
Mind just up there, Danger. Thanks. That's it.
springtime, when I feel the green love, finest ever to be church was crowded, and the funeral mass but here was I on the way. I'll take the day for what it's worth and do the best I can. Since come home, I'll my body belong.
Cheers.
Don't talk. To walk on the waist on. I'm back. Wait, fair play to you. Look at the video in there. Be on the video now. Take it short. I was gonna wait for you. No, in. We're going out
Listen to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great crowd, and it's great that everything went off without any incident. When I was mentioning people there before the walk, I inadvertently omitted to mention two people. Our sponsors, Tony McCarthy, Plantyre, Carrigain, and Josie Murphy, Kilmurray. I'm sorry that we missed them, but better late than never. Now I think we're going ahead with the raffle. Before
I swear, Mr. Fishing.
right, are you ready, Chess?
Yeah. Well, if the two of them were dead, like, I know about that too.
Stop, give me.
No, if we went up.
Number 14.
Oh, yeah,
There's somebody here lost their ticket on the road, number 16. So I'll give it to some young.
Very quiet.
Kitty did you?
donation of our the proceeds of our walk here in Crookstown. Now, firstly, I would like to welcome Rita, Sean, also Pat Gunn and his wife. You're very welcome, and everybody that participated in the walk, that did anything to collect this fantastic sum of £4,600. I think we've exceeded other last year, I think, by about £1,200. Included in that is the proceeds of Dan Clifford. He had a barbecue after the walk. There's £100 included in that. We have, over the past 11-12 years, been involved in walking for the guide dogs. Tessie is the live wire, I suppose you could say, behind the whole thing. She gets everybody going. She lays down the rules and we abide by them. I would like to thank everybody that participated in the walk, as I say. Danjo for providing your vintage car. Our piper on the date, I can't think of his name. John Horahan. Mrs. Cochran for providing the bus. And all of you for walking. Now I will call on, I suppose Breda is going to do the talking. Breda, you might say a few words.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Father. I'm delighted to be back here in Crookstown again this evening, and I just want to thank you all very much for inviting Sean and myself and Pat and Carmel out here this evening. We're really delighted to be here. I'm amazed at the amount of money that you've actually collected for us this year. The dog walk, I was out on the Sunday and the sun was absolutely splitting the stones. And Con Owens, I'm sure some of you know Con Owens here fairly well. Con came out with me and we walked it. Well, we pretended we walked it anyway. So we did. But it was a fabulous day, and the amount of organisation alone that went into that particular day, everything just went so smoothly. And I know that behind the scenes again, there is so much organising in a dog walk, between sponsorship cards, collecting the money, getting various people to sponsor different things. It's not easy, and it takes a long time to get it all together to get something like the Crookstown Dog Walk up and running, and to raise such a wonderful amount of money for Irish Guide Dogs for the Blind. So I'm actually going to make it very short and sweet tonight, because I think at this stage you're probably worn out from listening to me and the terrible Cork accent that I'm supposed to have. But anyway, I just want to say on behalf of Irish Guide Dogs, thank you so much for your hard work all over the years. And I guarantee you that the money has been well spent. And when you see somebody like Con, who's so independent and so mobile and so happy with his dog, because his dog is his companion, that I think it makes it all worthwhile. So on behalf of all the guide dog owners out there and the Long Cane clients and everything, I just want to say on behalf of them, thank you very much. And I'd like to say a special thanks on behalf of myself, because I know this is my first official night here for the dog walk, but I actually feel that I've been coming out here for the last 11 or 12 years because you've made me so very welcome. So again, thank you, and thank you very much to Tessie, because she keeps me on the straight and narrow as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I would also like to thank Con Reardon for putting his premises at our disposal tonight, and I believe he's providing sandwiches and maybe a round of free drink, I don't know. Also, I'd like to thank the band, because they are supplying the music free of charge tonight.
Now I'd also like to thank the photographers and for being here on the date, and I would also like to thank Father Murphy for gracing with his presence tonight. Perhaps, Father, you might like to say a few words. You can keep it short, really keep it short, so you can keep it short.
Now I must say, the people organising the guide dog walk here in Crookstown there, I'm marvellous. And I've got admiration for them. Every single year, the work and preparation to put into it. It doesn't all happen, but the work to put into it. And how they organise it, and then money is obvious, like the money every year, the money is increasing. The money is very needed. Talking to Sean, they're telling me like, what it costs, to keep a guide dog. And without people now, like, Tessie now, Jim Nine, John Doyle, and they organise it here, and then of course the top brass people, all these, there wouldn't be, the money there. For these guide dogs. Now I didn't walk this year. I walked once there, and I walked with Jim Nine, and my tongue was out, down to my toes, trying to keep up with him. So after that, I kind of stayed in the background, but I'm always supportive of it. And long may it last, and long may the people, like the organisers, may they keep it up. And continue to collect this money very needed for the people who are blind or who are visually impaired. It's a wonderful thing, and may God reward you all for it. God bless you all.
Pat, you might like to say a few words. It's second nature to you, huh?
I
Sorry.
thought I'd left it all behind me. But this is of course a great pleasure to be back again among you all. I have very happy memories of my years with the guide dogs coming out to Tessie's walk. Of course, really, that was Tessie's walk. But of course, ably supported by Jim here, and of course himself over here in the corner, who was looking very well, I'm glad to say. But and all of you. I mean, what can I say? It's a wonderful thing that you're doing. Each and every one of you that have contributed down through the years to this wonderful cause of helping blind people to be independent, like we are. Each and every one of us, we're independent. We can come and we can go when we like. But if you're blind, you can't. You're depending on somebody if you haven't independent mobility. And it's the guide dog that does that. And the training that goes with it. Not just a guide dog on its own. It's the backup service that's day in and day out being passed on to the clients that come from all over the country. Every one of the 26 counties anyway, people come to the guide dogs in Cork to learn how to use a guide dog. They also of course get training in the use of long canes as well. So it's a brilliant service, and one thing that you have to take into account is that it's given free. A guide dog costs nothing to a blind person. Costs a lot to the association, but to the person who's using a guide dog, it's free. The whole service is free. And that guide dog can work maybe for 7 or 8 or even 9 or 10 years with that person. And that person builds up such a rapport and such a relationship with that dog that it becomes part of that person's life. So you're really doing a wonderful work out here in your annual walk, and as Father says, long may it continue, and long may Tessie, Johnjo and Jim here next to me, and all of you continue to contribute to this wonderful work. So again, great pleasure to be back with you, and I hope we have a great night, and I'm sure we will. Thanks, Jim.
Sean, maybe you'd like to say a few words and we can bring it to a conclusion. And I know you're here to be left out.
Reverend Father, Tessie, Jim, John, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second time coming out to Crookstown. We had a wonderful night here again back late last year. Just a few quick thank yous to Connie, who's been a very good supporter and providing the venue. And he also does a very good job for us too every Christmas. And thanks, Connie. To the band, they were here the last night. We had a great night with them. It was wonderful to see them again. The money that you've given us. I've been there 4 years and counting in thousands. I've run out of fingers, so I can't tell you what the amount is, but it's substantial, I will say that. What do we do with that money? Well, I think if you come out to the Model Farm Road, and I'd hope to see each and every one of you on Saturday the 6th of October, we have an open day for the opening of our new training centre. Over the past 4 years, we spent £2.5 million in providing a new centre on the Model Farm Road. That's only possible because of people like yourselves and what you do. It wouldn't be there without you, that I can guarantee you. Yes, we did get government money, but we still had to raise the rest of it, and it was you people that raised it. And I hope you can come on Saturday the 6th of October and just look at what we have because of your contribution. It's the only guide dog school in Ireland, there isn't any other, and it's something that we are all very proud of and hope that you will be as well. Over the past number of years, we've doubled the amount of dogs that we train. That has cost money, and again, it's because of yourselves that we've been able to do that. We produced 32 this year. Back 5 years ago, we were producing 15 or 16 a year. We've 2 long-haul instructors. Back that time, we had only 1. So everything has doubled the size in the past 5 years, and that's all because people like you take the time, take the effort to support us. And all I can say is a very, very big thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd love to thank everybody individually that did a lot of work for our walk and what have you, but that wouldn't be possible. But I thank you collectively, and I can tell you, Sean, that we are very proud to be able to subscribe to what you're doing, I can assure you. Now, I'll bring the speech making to a conclusion and wishing the best of luck for the coming year, and hope that you'll all be with us again next year for our walk and for our presentation. So enjoy the night. God bless.
Thanks, John.
Disguised as dark and grey. It's an Irish harvest day, and as long as it's passed away, in a memory will never and no matter where I wander, and no matter
Please, thank you. I'll say something.
Left now, the old thatched cottage is falling down. I dry my eyes as I fondly remember days of long ago when I was young. In my father's house, a smile would greet you at the door, a friendly word. Even travelers there was a welcome for, and at night time neighbours rambled in and might stay till 12 or 1 in my father's house when I was young. Mind the time, and I'm growing older. My own children have reared and gone. I wonder then, will they fondly remember days of long ago when they were young? In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but good times we had plenty of. We made the best of what we had, and we sang a happy song. In my house when I was young. Years have passed and the times they're changing. The rambling house is almost gone, but still I hear the laughter of children, just like long ago when I was young. In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but times we had plenty of. My mother hummed some melodies and we all sang along. In my father's house when I was young. In my grandfather's house when I was young. Now then, poor old Dicey Riley, she has taken to the sun. Poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's off each morning to the hut, and she'll go in for another little drop. Now the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. She walks along Fitzgibbon Street with an independent air, and then it's down to Summer Hill and her the people stare. She says 'tis nearly 1:30, so I let in for another little one. Of the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. Poor old Dicey Riley, she has taken to the sup. Poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's up each morning to the pub, and she'll go in for another little drop. Of the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. She owns a little sweet shop at the corner of the street. Every evening after school I go to wash her feet. She leaves me there to mind the shop when she goes in for another little drop. Now the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. Riley, she has taken to the sup. Poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's up each morning to the hop, she'll go in for another little drop. Now the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. Years ago when men were men and courted Mary Blanc, lovely cheeky cold fire man was Mary Wong. One woman put them all to shame, one was worthy of the name, and the name of the game was Dicey Riley. Poor old Dicey Riley, she has taken to the sup. Poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's off each morning to the hop, she'll go in for another little drop. Of the heart of the marvelous Dicey Riley. That's it. Some say the devil is dead, the devil is dead, the devil is dead. Some say the devil is dead and buried in Killarney. More say he rose again, more say he rose again, more say he rose again, and carried Katie Carney. Now my husband, he is 6 foot tall, he's 6 foot tall, he's 6 foot tall. My husband, he is 6 foot tall, he's lazy, fat and bandy. Goes to bed at 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. He goes to
A bit hoarse, I'll just give a quick recitation. The young lads were going to the dance, so we said that we'd try and compare with the days of our youth when we done the same, so we sat there and we watched them prepare. Oh, there's no such thing now as asking permission, sure that isn't done anymore. But I remember when we were young, we'd be asking for 3 weeks before, and after listening to all the rules and regulations, till we heard them again and again, the last thing we were told before leaving the house was, be sure of being here at 10. No shot is 10 before they start to get ready, and sure it is in the rush you'll start, and by the time they're finished and ready to go, I should have every room in the house pulled apart. And one of the girls came into the kitchen and she said, Mammy, what'll I do? Me hair wasn't washed since yesterday and the lads have used all the shampoo. She said, I'll soon tell you how I used to wash it, but I suppose you're too grand for that anymore. We'd get a good lump of soap and a basin of water from the tub that was outside the door. And that time I can tell you we had raised in the washing, but things are different now. How would they like if they were milking by hand and their heads twice a day against the ribs of a cow? Then one of the lads came in and the ribs of the cow. Then one of the lads, oh, glass today, can't he was shavy anyway. Glass today, can't he? Linda, come up here with me for God's sake. One lad's going into the kitchen. Damn it, Skin, I just can't think of that. Well, what the hell has come over? He was shaving. Then what the hell has come over? There's someone after cutting your throat. And then they were started talking about this great band that was coming to play. Big Tom, they said, what's his name? He was known all over the country for his music and on TV and every fame. And when they told me how much he was charging, well, I nearly died with the fright, but they said he was very cheap at £1,000 for the night. But then I thought of the dances in no time. When we danced to the grand Irish tunes, with Paddy Mick playing the accordion and Mikey Sean on the spoons, for the jigs and the reeds and set dances, no better men could be found, and God knows they weren't hard on money either, should I play all night for a pound. I happened to be outside the door this evening when this long-haired courier drove into the yard. Well, you swear it was the nearest road he was driving, or else he was chased by the guards. He was surely doing 70 coming up to the door, and he had to jam on his brakes to pull up, with a nail bus stuck out of the window. That's the real sure sign of a pup. And in my time, I can tell you, you dare go to the yard, no one would dream of the like. You'd meet her about a mile away from the house and you'd get her up at the bar of the bike. And the next morning, I thought I heard a cow calf eat the feet at the back of the house. So I got out of bed as quiet as I could and I crept down the stairs like a mouse. And when I opened the door and I looked out in the yard, well, I never got such a surprise. There they were, the two of them in the car and the courty way in front of my eyes. All you could see with the tops of their heads as they peeped at me standing in the hall, as much as to say, that's none of your business, you shouldn't be watching at all. Well, I never went out to see the poor cow, though in fairness I think that I should. I just turned on my heel and I went back to the room and I left the calf in the best way she could. And when I told the wife, Linda, what was going on outside in the car, Christ, said I, Linda, is the country gone to a terrible pitch? Oh, she says, calm. It'd been nice to see them having their comfort. Sure, all we ever had was the ditch. She says, to hear the likes of you talking, you think you never did the likes in your life. Well, you forget what's going on outside in that car and get back into bed with your wife. Oh, there's bags of jet now closing here, sir. We've Sergeant 9 here to keep them out, I'll say it.
I'm Sergeant 9 tonight.
Another song.
Go and sing a song or something. Give us another blast on it.
What song?
Tell us the album or something. You had a couple of good ones there last year.
Yeah, I sang one there last year. I was cut by the breathalyzer for 6 years. I should be cutting even 4 weeks ago. Anyway. I got caught in and to like the story, I made a few verses of a song on the way home. I got upset from behind me. So it went something like this. I was caught at the foot of sleeve of the man, and it's all over now here. But on the way home, I said to her, look, cheer up, Linda. I said, alone, all alone. I was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenaman. On the 28th day of December, I was drinking in Grange Mockler Town. Well, I knew that I had a few extra, but I didn't know that the cops were around. I was on the road to Bondon Mill and never expected to stall. But then we met up with Sergeant Sullivan, oh, he made quite pies of us all. Alone, all alone, it was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenamun. Well, he bagged me there before midnight, and then he took me into Carrytown. Well, the cop in the station, he was nice there, in a soft seat, he put me sitting down. We waited 3 hours for the doctor, I thought he would not come at all. But when I gave the urine sample, says the doc, put you back. Alone, all alone, I was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenamun. Well, the feeling, this is next verse is very true, the feeling next morning, 'twas awful, oh my wife, she wasn't talking to me. Well, I won't forget Tipperary and also the cop that caught me. I rang up lots of guards and detectives, I rang Joe Welsh and my local TT. But then I got on to a friend in the lab there to see could he mess up the sample for me. Alone, all alone, I was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenamun. The breathalyzer, it's hard to get out of, that now you all will agree. But I got away now with 3 months when my urine read 323. You all know that I am a milkman and my license is important to me. Fair play for my friend in the lab there. He got out the typics and he changed the first figure for me. Alone, all alone, I was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenamun. Well, the case came up in September, I dressed up and I went in great glee. And when I was called on the stand there, oh, Judge Patwell, sure he winked at me. Though the court clerk called out the reading, well, I nearly cheered when he said 'twas 1, 2, 3. I will never stop praying for my friend there who changed that first figure for me. Alone, all alone, I was 100 miles from home, near the valley of Slievenamun. So now that my story is over, and I served out those 3 months this year, and Linda, she has calmed down a wee bit. She says, "Come, if you wish, you can have a not beer." If any of you now go boozing, if you get bagged, you can just come to me. I might not get you off it completely, but I could change that first figure, you see. All together, alone, all alone, I was 100 miles home, near the valley of Slievenamun. Thank you all very, very much.
And after thanking Con, this time we have a special request from Breathe.
Oh, the water is wide, and I can't swim more, nor neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry 2, and boat shall row my love and I. For love is gentle and love is kind, and love is deep when first it's new, and love grows old and wax is cold and fades away like
the seas. It's loaded deep as deep can be, but not as deep as the love I'm in, and both shall row, my love and I. Oh, the water is wide, and I can't swim more, and either have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I, and both shall row, my love and I.
You're going to do much now, like yourself one thing. I come back now. A boat can't fly in one wing, you know.
As I leave behind a dean, it's like purple splashed on green. Oh, my soul is strangely led through the winding hills ahead, and she sings a melody of wind and sea for me. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me as I wind and climb and fall through the greatest walls of all? Glide across the floor, her sweet breath outside the door, and she sings a melody of wind and sea for me. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me as I wind and climb and fall through the greatest walls of all? Glide across the floor, her sweet breath outside the door, and she sings a melody of wind and sea for me. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me?
Thank you very much. No, we are sorry. Thanks very much, folks. First of all, I must apologise for being late tonight. I had to go to Macron to another meeting. I suppose you're all familiar with the controversy that's going on at the moment with the new road going through the Lee Valley or the Bray Valley, whatever it's going. And as you know, I've been out of commission with the last 6 weeks, so I'm not as up to speed as I should be with what's happening with the various groups throughout the Lee Valley and throughout the Bray Valley. So that is the reason I had to go to Macron tonight. I also like to apologise for not being able to attend your walk a month ago, but I think you've done a very good job without me. I would like to congratulate everybody that was involved in it. I think, by what I can hear, that record sum of money collected this year. It is a credit to everybody concerned, especially to Tessie. You know, usually when you start up these things of field days and charity walks and whatever, they're grand for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. But this one seems to be unique in that it's keeping going for the last 10 years or 11 years or 12 years. I don't know how long it's going, but it's better and better to get in, which is very unusual for something like a charity event. It usually dies down after a few years. Now, I'll tell you a little story before I go here about these 4 fellas that went up to Templemore to join the Guards. And the 4 of them were sitting down on one side of the room, and the superintendent came in. He sat down alongside him and kind of put him at ease as he was, talking with him. And you question you up the first fella, and your name and where do you come from, and father's name and whatever, the mother's name, and how many brothers and sisters and all this, and question them. And he said, tell me now, he said, if I asked you what's the fastest thing in the world, what would you say? Oh, he said, a thought, sir. Because a thought flashes through your mind. He said, just like that, it's gone, no more. Very good answer. Right, second one, any question up again, same old story, call his anecdote. Mother and father, and the mother's people, of course, especially, they'd have to check back into him to see what the situation was back then. And asked him the same question again, what would you think would be the fastest thing in the world? Oh, he said, a week, sir. A week, he said, a week. It was kind of like that. He said, what do you know? He said, a thought is all right. He said, a thought goes fast too. He said, well, sometimes a thought it lingers in your mind. He said, especially if it was a bad thought. It could linger a long time. So he said, a week is a safer bet. Very good. Came to the third fella and on the same story again. Questions and answers. Cut long story short, he says to him, what do you think would be the fastest thing in the world? Oh, he said, electric lights, sir. We'll just switch on the light. He said, John opened the haggard. Just touch the switch and the lights on opened the haggard. You couldn't get faster than that, he said. No matter how he was blink or wink or whatever. And he said, we have to build that, all right. So he came to the next fellow there and he said, well, we'll throw the whole paraphernalia with him again. He said, I know how would you think would be the fastest thing in the world? Well, I tell you now, sir, he said, diarrhea. How come? And he said, how do you make that? How would diarrhea the fastest thing in the world? Well, I tell you. No, he said, I was coming home from work last Friday evening and I went in for a few pints. And I had 10 or 12 pints. And he said, on my way home, I called into the chipper. And I had 2 chicken curries. And I went away home and into bed. Christ, he said, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I got a fierce pain in the belly. And he said, I ran out to the toilet so fast, I hadn't the time to blink or turn on the light.
Well, you got after thanking Frank. Now we have a request for Jim Nyan, please. Jim Nyan for a song. Yourself here inside in the corner. You come out fighting, I'm sure, and sing a song for us. John the man himself.
To the land of my youth and the homes I love so well, and the mountains grand and my own native land, I'm bidding them all farewell. With an aching heart I'll bid him with you, but tomorrow I'm still far away. Oh, the I'm going, it's not but the love of fame. That fortune bright may shine over me and give me a glorious flame. It's not but the want of employment I'm going, for the weary and stormy sea. But to seek a home for my own true love on the shores of America. And when I am bidding my last farewell, then it feels like a train blind. To think of my friends in my own native land and the homes I'm leaving behind. And if I'm to die in the foreign land and be buried so far, far away, no fond of tears will be shed on my grave on the shores of America.
Travel, travel, many sights I have seen since I left my old home that I'm unlovely. From London to Boston and wherever I go, I long to return to my old side of home. With the bright lights of London are pretty to see, and the sidewalks in New York are so grand to me. I change it all, nevermore I go. Take the road westward to my old side of home. I'll try for this building that we all spend as I walk by the car, so happy and content. In Hazelwood Meadow, I oft walk alone, in the scenes of content, in my old side of home. And the bright lights of London are pretty to see, and the sidewalks in New York are so grand to me. I change it all, nevermore I go. Take the road westward to my old side of home. And the high north rain, and the sun reclines
pretty to see. And the sidewalks in New York are so grand to me. I changed it all, nevermore I'd know to take the road westward to my old Sligo home. And the kind folks I knew, every song and story, it was kind and true. Someday I'll wander back home across the floor and take the road westward to my old Sligo home. Lights of London are pretty to see, and the sidewalks in New York are so grand to me. I changed it all, nevermore I go to take the road westward. Take the road westward to my old Sligo home. It's a green ticket.
CG 987.
What's the number?
Number 11.
11 to what? 11? 11 to 15. Cassie, what did I talk about? 11. Come on, folks. Paddy O'Leary, is it?
Yeah, Paddy O'Leary the plumber.
Paddy O'Leary the plumber.
Paddy O'Leary the plumber. He's in the bar actually. He has been called to the bar.
A pink ticket, 136 to 140.
Oh, no, that's the finance.
Mrs. Nine from Finance is the winner this time. Give her applause.
Another pink ticket.
This is a pink ticket. Come up again.
471 to 475.
471 to 475.
Thanks very much for supporting the Raffle. Thanks to everyone that came tonight. I hope you enjoyed the night. And I must say thanks to Connie and Linda for the wonderful turnout they gave us. And not forgetting John Madden. Although I didn't know him today when he was talking to me. And Penny Harrington. And I hope he'll have many years of retirement. And I'm delighted to see Frank Metcalf back on the road. And he'll be walking with us again next year, hopefully. And hope he'll be on back in the walk next year again. Same crap. And a special thanks to Denjo Keller, who never failed to come. Thanks to Breda, Pat Gunn, Karma, and Sean Welch. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Tessie.
Hope you enjoyed the night.
Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Tessie keeps under pressure, all right. She was on the phone to me today and she says, John, we want you playing at 9 o'clock because we'll have to close at 12 o'clock. She says, I was going to say that there was a dinner dance, so what, you Well, I was working till 20 to 8 tonight and I was a small bit late as well. I couldn't do them all. Very good, your last dance, ladies and gentlemen, and top out smoking a few dinners there. That's right, got to finish up. And if you like to dance there, make it ladies and gents' choice. Excuse all round. Now's your chance, if I haven't bought on this.
worse than it's been. But if you will rob you and take all you have, but far-sighted love will lead you to the grave. They clean you and turn you to dust. That wandering heart and poor by choice. They'll kiss you and love you and tell you a lie. Crossroads and railroad track are the stars in the sky. Now you young fellow, take a warning from me. Never place your affection on a green willow tree. The leaves they will wither, the roots they will die. But now believe but you never know why. When I was just a little boy, I asked my mama, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Here's what she said, it's a loss, whatever will be. The future's not ours to see. It's a loss, what will be, will be. When I was just a child at school, I asked my teacher, what should I try? Should I paint pictures? Should I sing songs? This was a wise it's a loss, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. It's a loss, what will be, will be. When I go off and fall in love, I'll ask my sweetheart what lies ahead. When we have rainbows day after day, here's what my sweetheart would say. It's a loss, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. It's a loss, what will be, will be. To take the high road, we'll take the low. We'll be in Scotland for you. We and the true love will never meet again. On the funny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond, they seem to be ransomed too. I'm not crazy for the love of you. Won't be the stars married, we can't afford to marry. You love me, down South Main Street on a bicycle lane. shine on the dark. Love needs a God to protect them and scare them away with that power. So much for that dog in the window, one with the waggly tail. How much for that dog in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale. I don't want the bunny or the kitchen. I don't want the parrot that talks. I don't want the bar or the fishing. He can't take the goldfish for a walk. So much for that doggy on the window. One with the waggly tail. How much for that doggy on the window? I do hope that dog is for sale. All together again. How much for that doggy on the window? One with the waggly tail. How much for that doggy on the window? I do hope that dog is for sale. The chances no. We hope we'll be all here to begin this time 12 months, please God, if God spares us. Until then, it's from Paddy and myself and John. God bless you all and a safe home to everybody. But I mean, I'm with this, or the surround of him on my shoulder.